This is an expressive practice sample. You have been asked to render a message for a deaf upper elementary student. The class is beginning their unit on gravity. You will have a 1-minute warm-up followed by a 1-minute break. After the break, you will begin interpreting or transliterating. The warm-up will begin momentarily. Okay, now we're going to be starting our unit on gravity. So, gravity is all around us, even if we don't see it. Gravity is a force, okay? It is a force that draws something to the center of an object. That object could be a planet, it could be a moon, it could be a star, a black hole, something huge, right? So, what are some things that we know that have gravity? Our Earth absolutely has gravity. That's why when we jump, we don't just float off into the sky. It's also why we have our moon, our Earth hugging and holding on to our moon. Yes, the sun has gravity. The gravity of the sun keeps all of us planets here. It keeps Earth here. It keeps Mars here. It keeps Jupiter here. The sun having gravity is what keeps all the planets here, circling around it. Yep, stars have gravity. Every single star that we see out in our night sky, every single one of them also has gravity. Now, gravity is invisible. We cannot see it. We can't see gravity, but we can feel it. We can feel it. We can feel it when we jump. We can feel it when we fall. Yeah, we can feel it when we ride in an airplane. And the airplane is trying really hard to get off the ground. That's the airplane working against gravity to be able to fly. So gravity has to do with something's mass. We talked about mass before, so I'm not going to go over it, but it all has to do with mass. So the more mass something has, or the more massive it is, the more gravity it has. Our Earth has enough gravity to hold on to our moon, and our sun has enough gravity to hold on to all of our planets in our solar system. But with gravity, the further away that you get, the weaker it gets, right? That's why our Earth can hold on to our moon, but it doesn't hold on to Mars because it is too far away. That's why our sun holds on to all the planets, but not another star because they are too far away. Gravity even affects the oceans. Do you know how gravity affects the oceans? So the moon has gravity, right? The water in the ocean is moved by the gravity of the moon. Isn't that crazy? That's why we have tides at the beach. That's why there's waves and you can go surfing because the moon is pulling on the water of the oceans. So, gravity even impacts light. So, for example, black holes are huge. They are. They have a lot of mass. They are massive, right? They are so big and so strong and so powerful. And they're pulling. They're pulling on everything around. And they're pulling so hard, even light gets pulled in by the black hole. So if there's a nearby star and it is shining, but like we talked about, gravity gets weaker with distance. If the star's far enough away from the black hole, the star won't get pulled, but the light coming from the star, traveling from the star, may pass the black hole. And the black hole is so strong, it's pulling on the light. Isn't that crazy? The gravity and the mass of a black hole is so big, they can swallow up the light. It's that strong. So, gravity is an example of a force pulling us down to Earth, okay? So next, we're going to talk about pushing and pulling. Right, so we know the moon pulls on the water, and that pulling causes the push and the pull of the ocean, making waves and tides, okay? So let's talk about some other examples of pushing and pulling. How can we tell the difference between a push and a pull? Okay, so a push is forcing something away from another thing, right? And pulling is trying to bring something closer, right? So gravity is a force that pulls. It's trying to bring everything close to its center because of its mass. So what are some other examples of pushing and pulling? A door is definitely a great example. When you want to go into a room, you have to push a door into the room. But when you want to leave that room, you have to pull the door towards you. You're forcing. When you're entering the room, you're forcing the door away. You're pushing it away. But then when you're leaving, you have to pull the door towards you in order to get out. What's another example of this? Mowing the lawn. You have to push a lawnmower in order for it to move around your yard and cut your grass. If you pull on it, you're able to mow a line, but it's probably not going to look very good.